Guys, right here I have two of the most off-road capable full-size trucks on the market right now, period. Right here next to me is a 2021 Ram Power Wagon heavy-duty truck, and on this side is a new Ford Raptor half-ton truck. So why have these trucks together? Why compare them? Well, actually, these two can be configured for about the same price, although there's about $10,000 between these two precise trucks. This Ford Raptor stickered for $77,000. This Ram Power Wagon currently stickers at $67,000 approximately. And this truck is actually from Johnson Auto Plaza. Check them out. I couldn't do this video without actually being able to get the truck from them, so big thanks to those guys. So what I wanted to do in this video is actually show you kind of the strength and weakness of each truck and talk about powertrains, suspensions, tires, capability, truck capability, because right now the Ram TRX is still not for sale. If the TRX was here, of course it probably would be sitting here, but it's not at dealers yet. It just begun production. So let's start by talking about the powertrains on these two.
Hey everyone, before we continue, I've got a quick word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. When I'm not reviewing motorcycles like these, you can find me playing Raid. Check them out in the link below. Join a clan and team up to take on the dungeon bosses, collect artifacts, and level up your champions. Best of all, this iOS and Android-powered game goes wherever you go and is ready to play whenever you are, even on your PC. Just in time for the holidays, this game got its biggest update ever with the Doom Tower and its 120 floors of secret challenge rooms and 12 new bosses to battle. To go with the update, Raid Shadow Legends released 14 new champions, including Bulwark, to help everyone get started in the tower. Click the link in the description below to get a leg up on the competition with a free Void champion, XP booster, 50 gems, energy refills, and an ancient shard available as soon as you start playing. And don't forget Bulwark, the champion you get for free. Look for these rewards in your game's inbox for the next 30 days only, then start playing Raid Shadow Legends today.
Well, if you've been watching TFL Truck and following Ram, of course you know what's under the hood. Here is a 6.4 liter Hemi V8. It's actually a heavy-duty engine, although what FCA is doing is they also have a 6.4 liter Hemi in some of the other SRT vehicles that they have, which is like, for example, a Jeep Grand Cherokee or a Dodge Durango. But this is meant to be a work engine, a heavy-duty truck engine. So come over here on this side. You can kind of see it a little bit better. This truck is so tall that it's kind of hard to see. This engine, this V8, produces from the factory 410 horsepower is the rating, and 429 pound-feet of torque. And it's made it to a new 8-speed automatic that showed up about last year. And the 8-speed automatic makes this truck a little bit more drivable, a little bit more efficient. I really like this new transmission that they're offering in this truck, but it's not, of course, supercharged. We have a lot of questions from you guys at ask@tfltruck.com, our email alias, kind of asking about why don't people supercharge these 6.4 liter Hemis. Well, it's actually not quite as easy as you might think. So it's actually not easy to turn this Power Wagon, or maybe you shouldn't even turn it into a TRX. But that's a whole different story, a whole different video. So this is a pretty stout V8 power, and a lot of truck guys love that, right? V8 rumble. And I'll let you hear this engine right now. All right, so let's go check out what's underneath the hood of the Raptor. The hood is actually kind of heavy. It's a 3.5 liter high output twin turbo V6, the EcoBoost, and it makes a bit more power than that V8, that big Hemi. It's pretty funny. It's almost half the displacement, but 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. So more torque, more power. This engine has made it in this truck to a 10-speed automatic. But here's the funny thing. After testing all these trucks over the last few years and driving them on different fuel efficiency loops and towing tests, cross-country, actually fuel efficiency is similar on both of these. These are both really big, beefy off-road trucks. On this truck we have about 2,000 miles now, a little bit over that. We're getting about 14 to 15 mpg. It's a brand new truck. It's not ours. Doesn't belong to TFL truck like this Raptor. But I've been known on the highway to get about 14 in the big Hemi as well. So that's kind of a wash almost. Although this engine likes premium fuel, you don't really have to run premium octane in the Hemi. So let's talk about frames, suspension, shocks, and tires. And actually these trucks are a little bit similar in this way. So both of them have sort of reinforced frames, ladder frame chassis. This is the second generation of the Raptor, and as such Ford actually updated its frame when you compare it to a regular F-150 to make it a little bit more beefy, because they know people drive them fast off-road, and the frame needs to withstand maybe some slight jumps as well. The shocks are way different between these two. The Raptor, I think that's why you're paying more for the Raptor in most cases, is because it has these 3-inch diameter Fox live valve active shocks. You can even see this wire going to this valve right here on the piggyback reservoir in the back. It's controlled by a computer, basically giving the signal to the valve to open or close depending on road conditions or driver selected mode. It's very, very clever and very, very smart. The tire right here is what they call a 35-inch BF Goodrich KO2. This is actually a very good tire. We recently tested it in the snow on the TFL off-road channel, and it does have a snowflake rating, and it's an all-terrain tire. So it's a very good all-around tire. And of course, this truck is also equipped with this beadlock capable wheel, which is kind of a premium option on the Raptor. So let's check out what's underneath the Power Wagon. Part of the beauty of the Power Wagon is that it is a heavy-duty truck. That means it has a special, unique, heavy-duty suspension, as this truck does. It also has coil springs, which is pretty unique for heavy-duty trucks, but still solid axles front and rear. The Raptor has an independent front end with a Torsen limited slip up front. This has proper lockers, right? Proper big frame, but the shocks are Bilstein, and these are monotubes. So not as fancy, obviously not computer adjustable, but still the ride is quite good on this heavy-duty truck. And I'll show you the capability of the payload and towing in a second. But we gotta talk about tires. And I think this is where Power Wagon from the factory could improve a little bit. This is a really great tire, by the way, Duratrack Wrangler. It's a heavy-duty rated tire. Also Snowflake rated. Here's a Snowflake. I actually found it. So this tire is different from what GM uses on their trucks. But it's a 33. Actually, the exact calculation is about 32.7-inch diameter. So, and it's fine, except when you look at the truck from the side, the tires look a little bit too small for how big this truck is. Plus, when you get a bigger tire on this truck, and you could probably fit up to almost a 35 with no suspension mods, if you wanted to. The bigger tire would give you better clearance, obviously, and also make the truck look a little bit more macho and a little bit more rounded. And this Power Wagon also is equipped with these optional RAM boxes, which are lockable, sealed storage compartments on both sides of the bed. Some people love them, some people hate them. Of course, you can put little rubber mats in them. The driver's side one has a charger port. You have lights, you can put your tools in here. If you're a hunter, you can put your equipment in here. If you're golfing on the weekend, you can put your golf clubs in here. So, but it does take away some of the space from the inside of the bed. As you can kind of see here, these walls are wider, but it still has 4 feet of space between the sides of the bed. So you can still carry a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And you have the kind of the optional feature of the RAM box. And actually for 2021 there is another Power Wagon available for sale, and it's the anniversary edition, the 75th anniversary of the original Power Wagon military truck. And that truck also offers optional beadlock capable wheels, a different grille, some additional trim on the inside, and some luxury features. So that's a nice one to also differentiate your Power Wagon from others. But let's talk about truck capability. This particular Power Wagon right here has a payload rating of 1,302 pounds. 1302. So by heavy duty truck standards, that's not very much at all. But because this truck has a very unique suspension for off-roading, you lose some payload capacity, and this truck is rated at just over 10,000 pounds of maximum towing. This is a premium truck, and I'll show you the interior in a second to compare technology features between these two. But if you want to tow right about 10,000 pounds and, you know, carrying not a lot of payload, you know, Power Wagon will do that happily every day. Alright, so what about payload and towing capacity on the Raptor? Well, of course, it's not the same as a regular F-150 because of the suspension, once again. Usually a crew cab Raptor has about 1,200 pounds of payload. This truck has 999 pounds, so just under the 1,000, which is not great. And it's rated to tow up to 8,000 pounds. So you have less capability than the Power Wagon, but of course, this is more of a kind of a desert runner truck. That's a rock crawler truck, heavy duty versus half ton. And let me show you the Raptor bed. And another thing that's, you know, maybe for truck duty is not great on the Raptor is that this is only a 5.5 foot bed. So it's a little bit, you know, not very long, but still really wide, more than 4 feet between the wheel wells, so you can still carry some stuff if you want, and there's no RAM box similar option, although you do have a mid gate here as well. Alright, so what kind of technology do we have on the inside? So let's fire up the Raptor and see. Push button start. Of course, this is the previous generation of the Ford F-150 platforms. As such, it does have the not the latest F-150 interior, but the previous one. But still, a lot of tech is packed into this truck. Unique special steering wheel, you got paddle shifters, you got your mode buttons to select different driving modes, including Baja. And each driving mode selects the transfer case in its own unique setting, maybe four-wheel auto, as you can see right here, or for high, for low. There's a rear locker, selectable locker. Of course, you have a trailer backup system here on the Raptor as well. Automated climate control system, infotainment system here, which looks a little bit dated because the screen is a little bit small, but still it's full featured and has a lot of different capabilities. So as far as configurability and technology and actually luxury and how this truck feels, it still feels special, still feels nice. And the fact that you can control your steering modes, your suspension modes, your drive modes, I love this because I'm in control of what the truck is capable of. So actually, the Power Wagon, this one does not have side steps, which I like, but it does make it a little bit more challenging to get into one. By the way, the ground clearance here, technically, if you look at the spec sheet, the Power Wagon has more ground clearance, about 14 inches versus about 11 on the Raptor. But of course, the rear differential in this truck in the Power Wagon hangs down a little bit. But let's look at this interior. Since this is a premium Power Wagon, you got a 12-inch vertical infotainment screen. And actually, both of these trucks have a lot of different camera views. Here's what the Power Wagon system looks like. I like how big the screen is, also the resolution of it. You can look inside the bed, behind the truck, and also in the front. Look at that, with steerable lines, and I can see when I'm gonna hit that Raptor if I was to move forward. So that's pretty neat. Here's a Ford system. Once again, 360-degree camera, but the camera views are actually a little bit smaller. So let me show you what's available. Yes, you can of course zoom in on the back. This Raptor does not have an in-bed camera, so you cannot see your cargo. You can actually select and get different views. But in general, as far as camera views are concerned, I like the Power Wagon a little bit better. This is your transmission shifter. Yeah, I know it's a knob. You got front and rear lockers, pretty nice in hand. You have axle locks. You have hill descent control system and sway bar disconnect. You can disconnect the front sway bar and actually allow this truck to articulate more. And it does have a lot more flex on paper and in real life than the Raptor, just because of the nature of the system and the setup on the front axle of this truck. The seats are special, comfy. This also has 6-person seating. You can see that here. This is your transfer case for 4 high, 4 low, and neutral. So once again, also a lot of configurability, a lot of storage, a lot of capability, but it doesn't quite have as much like technical modes like the Raptor, but I think that's okay. It's kind of got a little bit more old school system where, you know, you go from 2 high to 4 high by actually moving a giant lever that's actually connected to something, and that's what it feels like. So both of these trucks have very capable off-road systems. Like I said, both of them have about the same fuel efficiency in the real world. Both of them can cost about the same, but the Power Wagon right now has the upper hand because of this, a factory installed Warren winch. And this truck is brand new, it just got delivered. So it actually has the hook and some of the controllers from Warren right here in the bag. And because this is not my truck, I'm not gonna open it and install it. But it's got synthetic line, you can kind of see it inside this inlet. Oh my God, I'm being attacked. Okay, before the geese, the Canadian geese attack me in a real way, and I have 2 very expensive trucks, I gotta exit. But guys, let me know in the comments below, which truck would you choose? Would you choose a rock crawler like this, a heavy duty truck? Or would you go for a little bit more high-speed desert runner like the Raptor? Or neither? Are you waiting for the TRX and you want to see how that turns out? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, go back to tfltruck.com and tfloffroad.com for all the latest truck news and independent and honest reviews.